Hey everybody, Shabba Nobody Else's Auto. 7:30 Sunday evening time for some more Gearhead Interactive Live Chat. All right, still got to get used to this new screen. My timer is now over here instead of over here. So on YouTube, so I'm kind of getting used to where things are at since they rearranged on me a couple weeks ago, but we're getting there. Anyway, who is here and ready to go tonight? We've got Buick Man on. Glenn is here. Balin Wire made it tonight. Charles is here. Pete's here with us. Kevin Brown, Kevin L. Glad you guys are all here. Mark Talene, Ron Levesque, all here and ready to go. We are live on Facebook as well. Hopefully that is working also. But anyway, glad you guys made it tonight. Hopefully you are ready for a fun evening. I've been out of town this weekend. I had an auction yesterday. Did not get back until today. So I don't have everything lined out the way I wanted to for tonight, but we're okay. We're in good shape. We got plenty of stuff to do for sure, and a lot of cool stuff in the auction pile, all kinds of neat stuff to talk about tonight. So anyway, before we get too far into anything, of course, always a little bit of housekeeping. Please double check your comment before you hit send. If autocorrect changes it to something I can't understand, I will skip it. I try to catch most of them. I do miss some, but I do try to catch most of them. But if I can't make it out, I got to keep moving. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. Please remember this is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook. So if you want to comment, participate in the auctions, etc., you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel, as those are the only two comments I can see. Duckster's here. Bodine made it. Bill Disc's here. Dad's on with us. Trolls, once in a while we'll have a troll pop up on here. We've got some steps in place to help eliminate that. However, when one does pop up, I ignore them, and you guys do an amazing job of running them off. As always, I appreciate that. Ads, unfortunately, is the nature of the beast. This is their game, and we have to deal with it, so we just kind of have to work around them best we can. Big Job made it tonight. And as always, Super Chats are super awesome, and we have the supercharged Super Chat badge warmed up and ready to go for any Super Chats that may pop up throughout the evening. Anyway, Cream City Pete's here with us. Jeff from Ottawa made it. Hippie's on. Let's get things rolling with a Hudson badge tonight. That is very true, Dougster. Trolls just, I don't understand it. And there's people out there like that. They just try to get in, and it makes them happy trying to screw up something somebody else is doing. Hubcap made it tonight. So, but the thing about it is, how miserable do you have to be that you get joy out of trying to make everybody else upset? Alec made it tonight on Facebook, but it happens. Those people are out there. All we do is just keep right on rolling, and the less attention they get, the better off we are, and the worse off they are. So, hey, there's Tim with us. Yep, number 302, like a 302 out of a 69 Z28, or the 302 Ford. The two most common 302s out there, probably. Big Rig Brett's here with us tonight. Copper Scrap Cars here with us. Glad you made it back. So anyway, great crowd ready to go. Hey, there's Christine. Yep, I did see some of that, Brett. I had several friends out there this weekend at Glendale as well. But anyhow, like I said, my week was kind of screwed up being gone this weekend, but we've still got a lot of stuff to talk about. But probably one of the most important things we need to talk about, and this is kind of crazy to think about since we're just a tick under 2 months out. Gathering of the Nobodies is pretty much sold out. Absolute amazing response. I thank all of you for your support, and the guys that are coming, and even the ones that can't make it. I know you're there supporting us. A few of you have even thrown up extra super chats saying, hey, we're helping support even though we can't make it, which is awesome. That's right, the 302 6-cylinder Jimmy. So basically, kind of here's where we're at. If you still are thinking about coming or want to try to make it, call me. Hey, there's Jim. I'm going to start a list of, if somebody cancels or whatever, or if there's something that we can do. Wow, that's crazy. It's been a whole year. Thanks, Copper. Appreciate you being part of it. It has been a year. That's crazy. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, and we may try to squeeze a few more in. It's just at this point, I've got to talk to Mark that's doing our food, and I've really got to look at what everything that to try to squeeze everything in that we want to do. Pete and I talked the other day. I'm going to try to get some. We're going to try to figure out with the amount of people we've got coming now, and a lot of people that I'm sure are going to be coming in on Friday. We're going to try to work on something for Friday afternoon. Sounds perfect, Jeff. Not a problem. I know we'll get it worked out. Mark Kirk made it tonight. So anyway, kind of the next step is going to be looking at what we can do Friday afternoon. See when I think I can be ready, and try to make sure there's something going on Friday to try to help at least have something for you guys to do till the brewery opens and we all start congregating late afternoon. Not 100% sure what that's going to be yet. I've got a few ideas, a little bit floored and appreciative that we have had this kind of response. This is our third year in. And I think last year at this point, actually not at this point, like a week before, we had like 16 or 17 people signed up. And we're over double that now at this point. So if you still are thinking about coming, call me as soon as you can and let me know kind of what your situation looks like, what your time looks like. Hey, there's Austin. And that way I can start a list and really kind of try to nail this down and see what we may or may not be able to do. So at this point, like I said, basically pretty much sold out is what I had planned as far as what I think we can handle with lunch and everything. Hey, there's Steve. But it's crazy that we're there. I'm still somewhat in shock, but that's where it ended up at. Tim, you still planning on coming? I know Tim, Mr. Good Pliers, is planning on coming up and hanging out with you guys as well. I know a lot of you guys watch him also, and he's planning on trying to make it up and hang out with everybody for a while. So it should be a fun day. I've got, like I said, we're looking at something for Friday, possibly looking at something else to try to squeeze in on Saturday. Don't know if this is all going to come together yet. Okay, Tim is planning on coming, so which is awesome because, like I said, I know a lot of you guys watch us both. So Tim's going to come up, hang out. So that's going to be pretty cool. So do a Will It Run. That is a lot more work to get ready. I know there's a lot of people that want to do that, but that's so much more work to have stuff ready, to try to have something picked out, to try to have parts ready for it. Something like that is a whole nother project in and of itself. Hey, Alan's with us on Facebook. That might be something we could do next year, depending on how smoothly this year goes. Like I said, we've never dealt with this amount of people. So that's what I'm want to be a little bit careful about. Yes, Ryan knows, that's for sure. Hey, there's Weston. Anybody wants to take Buick Man up on some free snow, you can go get it. I ain't going to get none of it. I don't want any of it. But that there again, this is kind of a different we're kind of going into uncharted territory here. The first couple of years we knew about what was coming, and it was, like I said, a lot less than what we've already got planned. Hey, there's Sean. So I want to be a little bit careful about trying to make sure that we still have a quality weekend is kind of where I'm at, because I don't want the whole thing to self-destruct. So something like maybe a Will It Run or something, maybe that's a year or two down the road. Hey, there's Nate. But like I said, I'm relying on a lot of help to make this come together. As we all know, Pete is helping manage the email list, keeping everybody up to date. And that's super important. My friend Mark that cooks for us. Rico helps us out with trophies, and Rico usually gets here early to help me because he's been here so many times. He knows my place like the back of his hand, so that helps. So myself, as well as all you guys to make sure this comes together, are relying on all these people that help us. And that's what I'm trying to be very careful about and very conscientious of their time and their effort as well, as far as making this all happen for us. So please bear that in mind as we get further into this. And like I said, as things come together, Pete will get the good question, Big Job. That's a great question. Because I want everybody to have a good time. That's the important part, is everybody has fun, and it turns into a good weekend and everybody enjoys themselves. So, so anyway, it's kind of crazy that we're at this point. So if you are thinking about coming, I mean, seriously, this is legitimately something you are planning on doing, get with me sooner rather than later, so that I know what other people may be wanting to come and we can try to accommodate as many as we can. On the other hand, if you realize you're not going to be able to come, please let me know as soon as I can, because if we have somebody else that wants to come, this is definitely turning into a balancing act this year, as far as what it's going to take to get everybody fed, everybody cycled through, and make sure everybody has time to check out cars at the yard and has a good time with everybody, making sure that everything is set at the brewery. I've already talked. We'll get some tables set up right outside of the actual party room, so we've got overflow room for that weekend at the brewery. So we're already kind of starting to put things in place from what we've already seen, but it's kind of crazy. So thanks, everybody. I super appreciate the participation, and let's make it a great weekend. So I do have that, Pete. I forgot to send it to you. He did send that to me. I just forgot to send it. So I will get that coming your way, Pete, so that you've got it to add to the list. So that was my bad. I'm actually going to get it to you right now so I don't forget. But anyway, Pete's whoa, hold up. Kevin L starting us out right now. Boom, with the first supercharged super chat of the evening. Thanks, Kevin L, for the first supercharged super chat tonight. Boom. Still working on that. That is a possibility, but I don't have anything locked in yet. So that's one of the things I'm working on. There are some possibilities of that, but I don't know for sure if it's going to come together. That's an idea that I've got and something that I hope comes together, but we're working on something like that too, to start the morning off with an auction. And like I said, there's just a lot more pieces to put together with this amount of people that are coming in, plus trying to coordinate. I've got guys coming that are picking stuff up, trying to coordinate when we're going to load. Obviously, we've got plenty of trailer parking down at the other end in the fenced lot, so that's not a problem. But just a lot of pieces to this puzzle, guys. Yeah, like we've had some really great weather. We actually have had decent weather lately, and I hope it continues. So anyway, awesomeness, excited, and a little nervous, but we're going to make it all work. Thanks to all of our people helping us out, and I can't wait to see you guys all May 16th. Anyway, enough about that. We need to keep moving. I don't remember seeing that one, Brett. I'll have to go back and take a look at it. Something else that I did want to bring up again, and like I said, maybe we can get a survey put up on the Nobody's page. I'll try to talk to Andy about that or something. Toy Tuesday, we tried it again live last week, and once again, it did not work out very well. I had 4 or 5 comments throughout the whole thing, and it was short, 10, 12 minutes. But I literally only saw 4 or 5 comments on my end. Some of you guys told me, in fact, I had a couple people text me after the show and said there was same amount of people, same amount of comments, but I didn't get any of them. So I'm there again, still trying to figure out what's the best plan for Toy Tuesday. The last couple, they're not getting any views, but they've been kind of screwed up too. So there again, we threw some different ideas out there. Continue to do something on Tuesday when I have time. go back to 7 o'clock on Sunday nights and squeeze a little bit of that in, just like we're going to do here in a little bit with some Tootsies, or any other ideas you guys might have. It's, you guys seem to love it, but that's about the only group that does love it, because the videos really don't ever take off after that. So I'm curious as to what's going to be the best use of that time, and what would be the best way to do it. Hey, there's Dennis. So keep that in mind, guys. And obviously this, just like all of this stuff, I want your guys' input, because it's about what you want to do, more so than what I want to do. So there again, something to just keep tossing around here for the next few weeks before we make a final decision on what's going to be the best plan of attack for Toy Tuesdays. Like I mentioned earlier, I was at an auction yesterday. It was a memorabilia auction, a collector who was selling a few things off, and I did get some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to be bringing that to you here shortly as well. I did do a little bit of auction footage, an overview of what was there, and then of course a wrap after we got done. And I bought some pretty neat stuff that I'm kind of excited about. So we're going to share some of that with you coming up. And I think you guys are going to dig some of this stuff. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Birdman's here. Yep, I did talk to Austin today. I'll give you a little sneak peek of one piece of it. Come back here. Yeah, nice shot of a pegboard. So, yeah, we got some pretty cool stuff coming. No, don't know anything about a sign auction in Belton. So this stuff will be coming up soon from the auction from this weekend. Did get some neat stuff. Had a good time. And like I said, we'll be getting that content up to you at some point. I just don't know when. I got to get it put together and stuff, so get stuff sorted. But it's not always profitable, but it's always fun when you get to add cool stuff to your own collection. Something else I was going to run by you guys. Yeah, I didn't see it, Balin Wire. Hey, Scott's with us on Facebook. Something else that, there again, definitely on topic for what we're here for as far as car stuff, but a little off topic about what we typically talk about on here. But this, depending on how this goes over the next few years, could have a drastic effect on the old car hobby. I don't know if any of you guys seen this or not. It happened to pop up on just some news channel on news page that I had up last week. So I looked at it a little bit more and did a little bit more reading on it today. And like I said, could have, depending on what direction this goes, could have a dramatic effect on the aftermarket, which obviously does go back to collector vehicles. GM has filed a patent lawsuit, a big patent lawsuit. Now, after I started doing a little bit of research on this, I realized this has been going on for several years. GM tried to file a patent lawsuit over fenders here 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, some of the stuff said it started back in 2018. It was dismissed a couple years ago, stating that just because it was their design of a fender didn't mean it was that much different than a quote-unquote normal fender. I'll just have to look, Birdman. I really don't remember at this point. Hey, there's Neil. But this could be big. And there again, I encourage you guys to look this up and read a little bit about it. GM targets aftermarket parts supply chain in expanding patent fight. ITC investigation in federal cases name manufacturers, distributors, and software providers. A series of patent infringement lawsuits filed by GM could affect the aftermarket parts supply chain used by collision repair shops, according to federal court dockets and U.S. International Trade Commission records. Court filings show GM brought patent infringement claims against several companies, including Mitchell, Quality Collision Parts, LKQ, Keystone, as well as several manufacturers, Depot Parts, Tong Yang, AP Auto Parts. Where were some of these others? So this could be really big. From what I'm reading, and what's tricky about this is it's tough to find a good article because a lot of them are on legal websites where you got to be a member of that particular, the websites that lawyers actually use to reference cases and things like that, where the actual official filings are at. And that's a possibility as well, Jeff. So. And that's why the idea of possibly working a little bit of that into just Sunday night is just putting it on my worksheet and working it into Sunday night might be the best plan. They do want a piece of the pie, big job, and there's so many dollars involved. But this is GM's new suit claims 20 of its patents for Colorado's Traverse, Silverado, Malibu, and Sierra, as well as their GM genuine replacement parts have been infringed upon. CCC Intelligent Solutions, Grand HC Auto Tooling, Gordon Auto Body Parts, Tong Yang Industries, YCC Parts Manufacturing, Depot Auto Parts, Max Zone Vehicle Lighting, Auto Power Company, Forerunner Automotive Industrial Corp, Antric Industrial Corp, and Pro Fortune Industrial Corp. So this could get interesting. The accused products are intended and designed to be substituted with GM genuine parts and are intended to be copies of genuine GM parts. Defendants' collective business is premised on offering replacement parts that match the ornamental appearance of genuine GM components, including those of GM. Defendants directly infringe because, in the eye of an ordinary observer, giving such attention as a purchaser usually gives, the design of the accused product is substantially the same as the designs embodied in the asserted patents, and the resemblance is such as to deceive such observer, inducing him or her to purchase the accused products. That's true. There's going to be a lot of billable hours involved, but I'm sure that GM has plenty of staff attorneys that are going to fight, that are going to take care of this, that they're paying anyway. So this could be big. Not sure. It is all going. Some of it is going back to the right to repair, no doubt about it. However, here's where I think a lot of this is coming from. You've got to remember that when you look at all of the lawsuits that get brought against the car manufacturers, all of the recalls that they're forced into by NHTSA, that's all getting passed on to the consumer. And at the same time, their designs are basically being reproduced constantly every day. So you get into the area. I mean, you're definitely going to get into a gray area. But if that design of that vehicle is patented and they're making identical copies of it, you kind of get into that there again. If it's their intellectual property, it's going to be kind of tough to refute that. So it sounds like they're basically stepping up the battle on this after several years of not getting anywhere. And this is how GM has it worded. GM claims the defendants infringe on the patents by LKQ, encouraging repair shops and end users to directly infringe the asserted patents by importing, selling, offering to sell, and or using the accused products. CCC providing software that connects repair shops with distributors such as LKQ to import, use, sell, and or offer to sell the accused products in the United States. And the manufacturing defendants providing the accused products to distributors such as LKQ to import, use, sell, and or offer to sell the accused products in the United States. Multiple manufacturer defendants have sought and obtained certification for the accused products from the Certified Automotive Parts Association, which further shows infringement. CAPA specifically offers certification for parts in the United States. Sounds good, Brett. So 3D printing should pick up the difference. Yeah. And here is another, and here's another side to this deal that I see. And that could be true too, Sean. But there again, if they had higher demand, they may step up and produce more too. So you kind of get into a really gray area on this. But here's what I think. Here's why I think this can happen right now. LKQ and Keystone have essentially bought up everybody. We know that. And for years, at least in my area, and there again, just like Ryan said, the frames that rot. And on the other hand, then you get into the question of how much salt and how much brine was used on the roads and things like that in the area where the vehicle was being used. But here's what I think this is coming to a head now. And there again, this is my personal opinion, which, that and $2 will get you a cup of coffee. LKQ has bought up everybody. All of these regional parts suppliers over all these years. So I remember, even around here, there used to be a couple of them that were the aftermarket parts suppliers that covered all these different areas. Now that LKQ has gotten so big and bought up so many of them where they control the market, GM has one primary target. 20 years ago, they would have had thousands of targets. And that's where I think it could start affecting the classic car industry as well, because if they get LKQ, then I think they could. This is going to take several years. But now that they've got one primary supplier, a couple of different software companies with CCC and Mitchell, because they're, again, same thing with software. We've got those companies have been bought up to where there's just big, huge ones now. So that narrowed the target dramatically for General Motors. So now they can go after them. So I'm, and there again, that very well could be what it comes to, Big Job, where they start getting a kickback on all this stuff, where they're going to have to, if it's their patent, they're going to have to pay them to use it, just like any sort of licensing agreement, if they choose to. And just like to Sean's comment of maybe they wouldn't be able to produce enough, well, and that may be what it comes to. Okay, you can keep doing them, but we're getting $1 a panel or $2 a panel. And that's probably where where it would end up going. And like I said, if it is their design and their patented design, and they're making exact duplicate copies of it, and they're, again, just like how they had it worded in here, where they are substantially the same design that embodies in the certain patents and resemblance as such to deceive. Well, that's where I'm thinking, Bill. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm looking long term on this thing. If they get LKQ, LMC, year one, NPD, if they win this, it's just a snowball effect. That all of those. Right. And there again, same thing, Dougster, LKQ's buying everything. And that's where I think this could be a snowball effect to the old car market. Because if they win this and said, okay, this is what's going on, you can't produce this stuff now without paying a royalty to GM, if they will license it to you, then that's what's going to happen. And then there again, if they win it, it's a snowball effect. If there's a judgment against LKQ and GM wins, there again, Scott, all this stuff is going to fall under that, unless they're already paying GM a kickback for licensing. And that's right, Copper. The prices are going to go up on it. There's no doubt about it. So there again, like I said, this was filed in February. I just saw it the other day, so this is about a month old. And like I said, I encourage you guys to read up on it. It was difficult to find it. The ones that I found it on, RDN Repair Driven News, and Auto Body News is where I found it. I found it on several legal sites, but every time I clicked on it, you had to sign in to read it to get the actual meat and potatoes of the lawsuit. But yeah, it could get very, very interesting. That's right. It'll be like Studebaker availability for everyone. That could be. Hey, it'd be good for me. I got a lot of stuff laying around, but that's what. That's why I found it very interesting, and saw how it could, definitely trickle down if. And I would think that it's going to be pretty tough to defend. Obviously, GM tried this once, got shot down. And if they're coming back again on 20 specific parts to start with, they're coming back with their ducks in a row. And it could be interesting, to say the least. So anyway, there again, a little bit off topic of what we typically would cover, but definitely a few years down the road could be a major player in the old car industry, depending on what direction this lawsuit goes. So more like sob parts. And that doesn't surprise me, Dougster. LKQ's done a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. You think back what LKQ's done over the last 10 and 20 years, and it's crazy. Their growth has been astronomical. But like I said, because of that growth, it's really brought them specifically into the crosshairs. I know Kansas, back when I was a kid, I know there was Kansas Bumper and Body Parts, and I think a couple others that, kind of service Kansas with a lot of this stuff. So, and that was, just covering Kansas. So you figure if there was 3 or 4 or 5 in Kansas, these more heavily populated areas, there were hundreds of these small distributors across the country doing this that LKQ has systematically bought up, and now they're the target. And now that GM, and there again, not only GM, if they win this thing, then you've got Ford, Stellantis, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, any of these big manufacturers. It's going to be a huge snowball effect if GM wins this on everything, because then every manufacturer is going to jump on board. All these other aftermarket companies are going to be in the same boat. A lot of these companies that are named do make parts for old vehicles as well. So, and there is a lot of truth to that, Hubcap. That's why a lot of the stuff is bad too. Yeah, that is a problem, Ryan. When you have half the ones known to exist and you don't have it, you got a problem. So this is going to be real interesting to see how this plays out over the next couple of years. I think that's why GM has targeted 20 specific parts that they know they can make an issue out of. This to me, there again, I couldn't get into the legal sites to actually read the lawsuit itself, but when I'm reading on these other sites, for it to be this targeted with these direct manufacturers, these specific parts, GM loaded both barrels and knew what they were loading with before they shot. Yeah, I mean, I can say LKQ's bought all this stuff up, and getting into the refinish business, everything. And it's just like I said, I don't know. Who knows how far it could go with the direction this thing's headed. So, anyway, just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Something to read up on and something to kind of keep an eye on over the next few months, over the next few years. So, patent has to be current and in production by the OEM. So there again, that could definitely affect the aftermarket stuff. And that's right, exactly. Get the first win, and then that sets the future case. So, and then that makes you wonder, like Charles said, if it has to be current and in production. And there's a couple different ways to look at that too. That may exclude a lot of the really early stuff, but what's that going to do to GM's parts business from here on out? They may go more into that, because if they still have it available, And all that has to do is say they have it available. If that part number is still active, and you think back, I'm sure GM still has stuff available for 20-year-old vehicles. If that part number is still active, then if they still have an active part number, then if they win this lawsuit, then that would still lock that in. And all they have to do is keep it active. They keep it active for the next 50 years and affect the car market down the road. So, okay, Nate's in the collision business. So this is good information. Nate has heard that Toyota has filed basically the same suit and that Ford is looking at jumping in on with GM's suit. Hey, there's Andy. So that's some great information. Nate being in the collision business, that's good information. So this thing is already gaining steam from the manufacturer's standpoint from what Nate has seen on it. So very interesting information. Be very curious to see where this thing plays out. Hudson badge. So anyway, let's keep moving. Who wants to check out some more Tootsies out of one of our amazing boxes of Tootsies? Less LS swaps because they still make all those parts, yeah. It's Tootsie time. Yes, let's bust open a couple more Tootsies out of this massive collection Tootsie in the box. Now, remember, we've looked at one box. This is the second box we're going to look at a couple toys out of. Still got 2 more boxes of Tootsies you guys haven't even seen yet. So, let's see. I think we've looked at this stuff over here. Let me sort out what we've already looked at, what we haven't, and check out a couple more this evening. All right. Let's check out a Tootsie Toy dump truck. These things are so crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look at the bed of this dump truck. Hey, there we go. Big job. That'll work. These things amaze me every time I open the box. And they amaze me even more. Hey, there's Kenny. When you look at the bottom of these things. We'll get a few of them in the auction, Glenn. Nothing out of this box, so. White gloves? Okay, good point. Mark, send us these. I need to be using them. I'm going to get oils on these things if I don't. All right, we don't want to get any finger oils on these Tootsies. Jazz hands, that's right. Yeah, Hot Wheels never rode in the back of these. You can still see the factory overspray in these things. Even the bumper is not even chipped up on this thing. The bed obviously does tilt. This does not have an opening tailgate. And I don't know if you guys can see inside of here. Sweet. That sounds interesting, baling wire. The bottom of the bed is not beat up. Tootsie Toy, made in the United States of America. We'll sell you some toys here in a minute, Glenn. Okay, but I ain't selling anything out of this set. Okay, so there's a dump truck. Let's wrap this one back up, and this one did sweet baling wire. Good point, Kevin. That's right, Austin. This one has been played with a little bit, but it's still in excellent condition, even to the point where the letters aren't scuffed up on this Texaco tanker. We'll get to auctions in a minute, Glenn. Okay. This one was used a little bit. It's got a few scuffs and scratches in it. Bottom side of it is still very clean. Still, you see the doors on the back. This is modeled after a 48 to 50 Ford COE cab over. But even like the Texaco letters on the sides of the tank where they were painted silver, they're not worn off. That's the original paint. So even though this one isn't quite as good as the others, it's still pretty, considering this is a late 40s toy in original paint, it's crazy. So anyway, we'll wrap that one back up. Still got 4 more in here. You want one more of these tonight, or save them until next week? Put them away or get one more out, guys. What do you think? Put them away? We'll put them away. Pete says more. I was just getting ready to cover them up. We'll do one more. And then I've got a couple of these in the auction boxes here for just shortly. Okay, guys? Oh, yeah, this one's sweet. This is super cool. All right, one more. This thing is awesome. This is a little earlier, I believe. This is our Sinclair truck. I think this is maybe kind of loosely based off of like a KB6 International, based on the grill. We do have actually some paint discoloration back here. Couple of scratches on this side over here. Hey, Big Rig Brett's back. Bottom side of this thing, there again, just absolutely amazing. You know, even the front bumper's got a few scuffs and scratches, but minimal. Bigger doors on the back of this one. But just a super, super cool truck. Okay, that leaves 3 more in the box for next week. And then, you know what we do? We get another box out. How crazy is that? All right, we'll put these away till next week, and then we'll get some more out. So if you guys want to kind of keep working some of this stuff in for Toy Tuesday on Sunday night, we might be able to do that as well. All right. Since Glenn's all wound up, you guys want to do a few auctions now, or do you want to catch them later? What do we want to do? Or we can do a little dancing with the white gloves. I already put those away, Jim. Hey, JP's back. So it looks like you guys are ready for auctions. Am I reading that correctly? Okay, everybody's wound up. I guess we'll get to the auctions. Wow, everybody's excited. Okay, let's say keep these handy so we can do a brochure here after a while. All right, let me regroup here. Ugh. Okay. Badge, Hudson badge, promo. Okay. Where do we want to start, guys? As always, hey, John Anderson's here with us. Just like we always do, we'll start off, we'll talk about a piece, we'll hold it up, we'll show it to you, we'll point out any damage, we'll talk about that particular car. If I'm a tape measure, we may give you dimensions if there's anything that we need to give you dimensions on. As we're talking about something, if you're interested in it, go ahead and throw a bid up so I know that we have interest in it and we're ready to go. At that point, after we get done with the description, I will put it on a timer right here on my phone. We will go 90 seconds, unless we do a flash auction, which is 60. We'll go 90 seconds. I will tell you when 30 seconds is gone. I will tell you when 60 seconds is gone. At the end of the 90 seconds, when my phone says 130, I will announce the winner based on what I see on my screen. There are occasionally differences in what you guys see versus what I see. But unfortunately, all I can go with is what I see, which is really unfortunate for me because typically the other bids are higher that are still hung up and not coming in. But that's the only fair way to do it. So we'll go ahead and get started tonight. I thought I had a tape measure over here, but maybe oh, there it is. Okay. Make sure I got my tape measure handy in case we need it. We'll start off with a few smaller items. And as always, hey there, Steve. I will read all the bids I see on the first few items as I see them after, so you guys can get an understanding of where the delay may or may not be. And as always, it'll be a great time to refresh and make sure you are current on the feed so that we're ready to go. So anyhow, with that, let's grab something. If you guys remember here a couple weeks ago, I had a big box of magazines I just bought at an auction, have not even sorted through it. I grabbed a handful of those. We got some toys, we got caps, we got license plates. Let's just start with these magazines. I don't even know what they are. I just grabbed 4 off the top that says Speed Age. 1954. There's November, July, August, and December. I don't even know what this stuff is. I've never looked at them. I grabbed them off the top of the box. You guys are going to get to see them when you get them, because I don't, like I said, I literally just grabbed these. There's 4 of them. 1954 Speed Age. Four issues. I don't know anything about them. I don't think I've got any hand plates tonight. I think I've got some more, but I don't have any ready tonight. So 4 issues. Like I said, these are super early, 72 years old. I don't know anything about them. They were on the top of the stack in that magazine box. Looks like there's some motorcycles, some sports car stuff. Wow, check out this cool stuff. Like I said, you're seeing this as I'm seeing it. Let's see what else we got in here. There's some weird stuff in here. Jaguar race cars. Early XK stuff. Like I said, I don't know what's in any of this stuff. So, what do you guys think? 1954 issues of Speed Age. All 4, one bid. Matt starting us off at 10, and here we go. That's only $250 an issue. These are got to be worth $8 or $10 a piece. There we go. 25 with Steve. Lots of hearts. Hearts are pouring out. Like I said, I don't know anything about these, but they're really cool. Like I said, and that's what I told you when I brought this box in a couple weeks ago. I was just going to grab some stuff, sell them to you. What we just looked at is everything I've seen of these. The hearts are still pouring out on these. We got a river of hearts going for the Speed Age. 30 seconds gone. Steve at 25. $27 with Glenn. It is a mag bundle. $30 with Steve. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Bailmeyer had something sold him. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Steve at 30. The hearts are still going. That is a ton of hearts. Steve at 30. You're getting all 4 issues. No idea what's in them. You've seen what I've seen. I haven't looked at them any further than that. I literally just grabbed them off the top of that box. Just about ready to wrap this one up. Steve at 30. 32 with Glenn, and that does it. Glenn barely got that one in as it went to 130. Glenn at 32. All right. That was fun. That was cool stuff. But while we had some sports cars in there, we'll do a couple other little toys. We're going to do a handful of toys. These were actually in the video the other day. If you guys caught the swap meet video, after I did that video, I put everything away and haven't really had a lot of time to sort through it. But I did grab a few things for tonight's auctions, including 3 of these cars that are these. These are Tootsies. They are smaller Tootsies, but they are. This is a midget toy actually. 2 Tootsies and a midget toy. So the first Tootsie, and these are small Tootsies, is a 57, I believe, Ford. A Tootsie Jaguar. Hey, there's Dean. And this one is a midget toy. And kind of, I think it is an MG, actually. So like I said, these are smaller. These are 2 3/4, 3-inch, 3-inch. So these Tootsies are 3-inch. This midget toy is just under 3-inch. But we're going to sell you the bundle of them. We do have some regular Tootsies coming up. Don't worry. But like I said, we'll start off with a few smaller pieces. $10 with Hippie, but we're selling you all 3 of these on this one batch deal. The Ford, the Jaguar, and I think the other one is an MG. Hippie at 10 as we hit the timer, and away we go. $12 with Birdman. 13 with Hippie. Just past the 30-second mark. Find some more GMC caps, okay? Keep an eye out for that. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Hippie at 13. These are definitely 50s era pieces. Still in really good shape considering they're that old. Paint's not too bad. We're coming down to the end. I've got Hippie at 13. 15 with Steve. 15 with Christine. We got a few seconds left, though. I had Steve first at 15. Hippie at 16. We're coming down to the wire. 17 with Mark. Couple seconds left to go. And that does it. Mark at 17. Hippie came back with 18. I had Mark at 17. Whole handful of cute little guys. All right, let's catch a horn button. There's, again, not a real rare one, but a kind of a cool one. This is mid-50s era Chevy truck. Nice shine to the chrome. This area, we see the black paint there, was a black background, which is somewhat faded out. You can repaint it black. You can repaint it any color you wanted. Hang in there, Dean. Must resist. I've still got a box for you, so as soon as you get moved, let me know that new address so we can get it on the way. Big Rig Brett started us off at 10. This is bent a little bit on the back. It's kind of cattywampus back here, but the front part where it counts looks pretty good with nice chrome and a few dings. It is about 3 3/8 in diameter. 12 with Birdman. Let's get this thing on the timer and away we go. That's right, Mark. $12 with Birdman on the Chevy cap. Hey, there's Wiley. Coming up on that 30-second mark, Birdman at 12. And there we go, 30 seconds gone. One minute gone. Birdman still at 12. Ticking away. Nobody else on the Chevy horn button. 13 with Steve. Coming down to the end. 14 with Birdman. Couple seconds left. And that does it. Birdman at 14. Pete was late. Kevin was late. Just by 1 or 2 seconds. Birdman at 14. As we hit the 130 mark. All right, let's catch a hubcap and a plate, and then we're going to get into some toys and some other cool stuff. So this next piece, something for our Ford fans. This is a 52, 3, 4 era Ford cap. Looks good. There's no color left on it. I think part of this was originally painted. This is a stainless cap. It is nice and shiny and looks good. And if you're a Ford guy, you definitely want one of these on your wall stating Ford. Some of these had kind of a red background. I mean, you can kind of do whatever you wanted with it. Paint the background, paint the letters. The letters are embossed as we look at the back of this thing. You can see how this is all stamped in it. This is a nice, clean stainless cap. Few scratches, few dings, but still a pretty decent looking cap. It is 10.5 in diameter, and it is somewhat dished as well. Birdman at 10 starting us off. Nice little wall hanger on the 52-3 Ford era Ford cap. John at 20 as we hit the timer and get going on the Ford cap. Oh, yeah, that's right, Andy. Okay, here we go. Coming up on the 30-second mark. "30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go." "22 was Steve." "1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go." Clean cap, just a bad 4-letter word. Steve at 22. Steve at 32. Making sure nobody snipes him. And we are coming down to the wire, so that may have knocked everybody else out. We've got a few seconds left to go, but Steve at 32 may have just taken care of any of his own competition. And that, oh no, Kevin at 33 as it went 1-3-0. Kevin at 33. The last second, Big Job had 33 as well after Kevin. Boom, Kevin Brown coming in from the left field as it went to 1-3-0 at 33. John had a 35 hanging in there. Whoa, that one got interesting at the end. But Kevin Brown at 33 is who I had as the time ran out. A bit of advice, Kevin and Big Job. I would shoot about 2 seconds quicker last time. Or next time. Let's catch a license plate real quick. We haven't done one of those yet tonight. Your hot pocket was done at the same time. That's crazy. Let's back way up on license plates tonight. This is a used one, but it still doesn't look too terribly bad, considering it is 99 years old. Yeah, 99 years old, and it's still here with us today. Going back to 1927. Kansas plate. Does have some surface rust. Based on what it looks like on the back, I think it was originally gray with black letters. The letters and the numbers all still very clear and easy to read. 1927, KAN for Kansas. John at 20, Doug at 5. 23 with Birdman. This has a couple of extra holes in it from where it was mounted, and it's kind of an odd size. It is 15 1/4 and about 5 1/4. Yeah, considering it's 99 years old, it shows a little wear, but I mean, it's 99 years old. So, let's get this thing going. We've got 23 with Birdman, and away we go on the timer on the 1927 plate. $24 with Dougster. $30 seconds gone. $32 with Steve. 33 with Dougster. Dougster answered very quickly to that one. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. 33 with the Dougster. $35 with Steve. Whoa, hold on. Move my keyboard, threw my whole camera out of whack. 36 with Dougster. We're ticking away, coming down to the end on this one. 36 with Dougster. Few seconds left. 37 with Steve, and that does it. 37 at the last second with Steve Trendy. 38, 37, 37 with Steve Trendy is who I had at the 130 mark. All right, guys, are you ready for this? Not quite as cool as mine was, not quite as nice, but we're going to sell you some Tootsies. Like I told you guys, I got so much money in those new ones that I have to sell off some of my other ones. No choice, no option. Obviously, to buy 4 boxes of Tootsies like that, I had to put out a pretty decent chunk of change. That means I have to sell some to you guys. So here we go. This one is not busted up. It's not chipped. It's not broke, but the paint is definitely worse on this 1948 Ford cab over Texaco tanker. I hate seeing these go, but I have to pay for my good ones. So there again, obviously has been played with much more. It does still have retains the original tires on it, tires and wheels. It is the 48 Ford COE design, just like we looked at. Hippie starting us off at 10. It is just a tick over 6 inches in overall length. I thought I had it hung on there. And it is about 1 3/4 inches wide. So, obviously the paint is not near as nice as mine. It's not broken. It's not chipped. It's not beat up. It's just been played with, and the paint has been worn off of it. So, I guess here we go. Lots of bids on this one. Nothing. Yeah, that's right, Big Job. It's definitely a sniper's item. I'll let it fly, Mark. I don't think the 16 is anywhere near where it's going to be. So we'll let it fly. I should put a reserve on it, but we'll let her go. Birdman at 20. And like I said, I think it is a sniper item anyway. I think this is going to get interesting at the end. It's a killer piece. Let's hit the timer. I love these ones that actually say the company on them. Like I said, the bids are still coming in $1 at a time, but I think this is going to get more interesting here as we get a little closer to the end. But they still keep ticking along. So, $30 seconds gone. Hippie at 26 is our high bidder. These things are so awesome. They typically tend to get pretty interesting at the end. So we'll see what's going to happen with this one. I got a feeling there's probably 3 or 4 of you guys out there just sitting on your thumbs right now, waiting for this one to tick down. But I'm pretty sure 26 probably won't get it done. But I do know one thing. I do know that in 30 seconds, we're going to find out what happens. Because we're just past that 1 minute mark. Snipers, get your sights set. And here we go. 26 with Hippie. And we're working our way towards the end on this Texaco tanker. Here we go. We're coming down to the end. What's going to happen? 26 with Hippie. Getting close to the end. 30 with Birdman. Couple seconds left. 30. And that does it. 30 with Birdman. at the end. Like the channel and bid like your number. Awesome, Dean. 30 with Birdman. I didn't think that 26 was going to hold. Okay, we'll do one more yet tonight here in a little bit. We'll squeeze something else in, then we'll do another one. This is a really cool badge. It's kind of pitted up. Big delay out west, so you guys might want to hit refresh if you guys are seeing some delays. And make sure you're current and up to speed. I'll give everybody a few seconds to go ahead and hit and do that before we jump into the next piece and kick it off. But a really cool badge. This one does have some pitting in it, but it is definitely a statement piece for our friends that like badges. This is about a 47 or 48. Hey, there's Chris. Glad you're here. Studebaker front hood badge with this big old S right out in front in your face. So this is a winged badge. It was on the front of the hood. It is somewhat V-shaped. It's a cool piece. It is. The S is actually a separate piece. You can see where the studs are on the back, where the S is mounted to it. These fields back here with the shield were originally painted. This would be a big belt buckle, Dean. So you can see where this still has some white in it down here. Looks like this was maybe a red. So there was some color in these you could repaint. And then, of course, the wings off to the side were ribbed. You see the back side of it here. This is pop metal. It is not broken or chipped. It is about 47, 48 era. The plane in the yard, I just need to get time to get it moved. So nothing's going on with it right now. Not counting the V, if I just go straight across this thing, not counting the V, it's about 10 and a half. And about 4 3/8 tall. So kind of a cool piece. Like I said, it's kind of pitted up, but there again, for your badge collection, hanging on your bench or whatever, it's a pretty cool piece. And it's actually somewhat heavy as well, but it's pretty unique. John's starting us off at 20 as we start the timer, and away we go. Coming up on the 30-second mark. Is that 22, Birdman? There's a bunch of other stuff. Okay, you pulled it back. Okay. 20 with John and crickets. It's a pretty cool piece for crickets at $20, so we'll see what happens. 22 with Birdman. 23 with Dougster. Dougster, the Wolverine Garage. The sticker's laying here on my desk. Had to share it with you. 1 minute gone. 25 with the Nut Farm. Here comes the Nut Farm as we just passed the 1 minute mark. 30 seconds left. Nut Farm at 25. 26 with Dougster. Ticking away, coming down to the wire, working towards that 1 minute, 30-second mark. 27 with Steve. 29 with Dougster. Are we going to hit 30? 32 with Kevin L. Couple seconds left to go. And that does it. Kevin L at 32. Dougster came back with 33, just a hair too late. 32 with Kevin L. All right, guys, you're going to want to hang on to your hats on this next one. In fact, I think we got a couple of super cool pieces we're going to throw up here. Alec had a 35 in there that just popped up on Facebook. So, Alec, you're way behind because that literally popped up just as I said that. Hey, there's Michael Gagola with us on Facebook. This next one is epic. I hate to sell it, but It's been repainted. Mine is original. I'm going to sell you the repainted one, but it looks actually probably a little bit better because I've got a couple of scratches on mine. But this one has been repainted. It is epic. Get your bids ready. It's beautiful. You're going to love it. I hate to sell it, but I paid so much money for the other ones I have to. So here we go. This has been restored. It has been repainted. But man, it's beautiful. Look at that. Yes, I had the Sinclair as well. This one has been painted on the bottom. That's what tips me off to the fact that it was restored. Steve at 50. So I'm saying this has been restored. It is 6 inches, just like the other one was. It is super cool. It is beautiful. And it is on the timer. So away we go. 58 was Sean. $60 with Glenn. 63 was Steve. Hey, Billy Bowman's here. Nathan's Mopar Garage back. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. $65 with Glenn. Still hurts seeing this one go, but $70 with Steve. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. I don't know. We'll see, Dean. It's pretty cool. I know we're ticking down and we're getting close to that minute 30 mark. Steve at 70. I don't know if there's any more snipers out there ready to fire or not. But we're getting down to the end. 70 was Steve. We're going to find out just a couple more seconds left. 70 was Steve. And that did it. 70 with Steve. Yes, yours is still here, Austin. Yeah, I've still got it. I've got that and a license plate, I think, here that are yours. Okay. I got it. You guys want to do a super killer cap? This thing is epic. I think you guys will dig this one. It is cool. Hubcap, guys, or a bongo? Because it doubles as a bongo. All right. This thing is awesome. This is late 40s. Lincoln. This is a beast. Late 40s era Lincoln. This is all embossed. It was red letters. This little squiggle mark is embossed. It's got this hex on it to somewhat simulate an old school grease cap. Yes, you do need sunglasses for it, Nut Farm. I forgot to warn everybody. All these different layers are stamped. The hex is stamped. This ring is stamped. This ring is stamped. This ring is stamped. These are beautiful caps, and they're big boys. This actually is a stainless cap with a steel ring mounted inside of it to mount. Christine, 15. It is 12 inches in diameter. So a little bit bigger. A lot of these, dog dish caps are about 10. This is 12. But there again, this was on a Lincoln. It's a whole different ball game. But great looking. You can see the back where all this is stamped and embossed into the stainless. Beautiful cap. Christine at 15, which I don't think is going to get us very far on this one, but I know we're going to find out here shortly because we are on the timer. Coming up on the 30-second mark already. And Christine at 15, and that's it on something this epic. That's right, Sean. I do know you like them Lincolns. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. One minute gone, and Christine still at 15. You getting nervous yet? That's right. Nut Farm is already diving for cover. That's probably not a bad plan. We're still ticking away. There's nothing happening. Christine at 15. 28 with Kevin Brown. 30 with Sean. 20 with Alan. I got 30 with Sean over here is the high bid. 35 with Kevin Brown. And that does it. Kevin Brown at 35. Pete at 131 had a 37. Kevin Brown at 35. I figured that one was going to get interesting, and it did. Time for another horn button. This is a beautiful one, too. Your first Lincoln cap. There you go. Kenny's seeing a lot of bids that we're not seeing, Kenny. All right, how about something for our horn button, guys? This thing is so cool. This is early 50s-ish Plymouth. Check out this dude. It is dished in here. Has obviously the ship in it in gold. It's a plastic button with a chrome ring around it. We can see on the back where the ship is actually embossed in the plastic. It does have the tabs. The mounting tabs are still here where this twisted in. Huh, that's weird, Kenny. Has anybody else seen a lot of bids that I'm not seeing? Big Job says YouTube has been having some problems tonight, so maybe there is an issue. So, guys, yeah, if we keep having issues, obviously we'll probably go ahead and get shut down as far as especially on this part of the feed, but anyway, let me know if you guys are bidding and I'm not seeing them. Pete says he's looking good. Okay. Just keep me posted, guys, if it continues to be a problem. This button is 2 3/4 in diameter. And that's what happened. Exactly what happened is it was Christine all the way till the last 15 seconds. So, okay, Dean says it looks good. Okay, so hopefully that's just on Kenny's feed where he's got an issue. But cute little Plymouth horn button. You can see. I hope you can kind of see how this is dished out. Yeah, we got plenty of license plates. We can squeeze some more of those in. So, yeah, we can definitely do, I mean, I got everything still here. I got plates, caps, cans, badges, ornaments, buttons. I still got all kinds of stuff piled in here. We'll see how many more things we want to do, but we can still do a couple more. So, anyway, back to our Plymouth horn button, early 50s. 20 with Sean, just locked up on the phone, okay, on TV. Okay, hopefully you guys are not having too many issues. And we'll see how things go. If everything goes smooth with the horn button, we'll do another plate, maybe a can, a couple more things. We're on the timer. Sean at 20 on the Plymouth button. "30 seconds gone." Huh. Maybe we'll just do this plate. That'd be kind of interesting. Follow up the other one. Sean at 20 as we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Well, this one had a little more appeal than that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm incorrect in that assumption. One minute gone. Just past 1 minute, actually. 23 with Cream City Pete. Getting ready to wrap this one up. Pete at 33. And that does it. Pete came in at 33 and got it done. Shooting just a couple seconds earlier than last time, and it worked. Sean came back with a 35, but it was too late. Pete at 33. Alec had a 32. Facebook seems to be really slow tonight. Since we just did a 27 plate, Birdman wants to do some more plates. We'll squeeze a few more of them in. How about we do a 28 right after that, huh? We did a 27. Let's do a 28. This one has a little bit better color. Definitely, you can. This was white and blue. You can definitely still see the white. It does have some light surface rust on the paint, but the blue is still really prominent on this particular plate. Backside has a little bit of surface rust as well. There again, longer. This one, and this is kind of weird, this is just under 15. This is like 14 and 7/8. I think the 27 was just over 15. Let's compare them. Birdman 20. Yep, look at this. This is kind of weird. They're the same width, but the 27 is this much longer than the 28. I don't know why they shortened them up by a quarter of an inch for 1928, but they did. So anyway, let's get this one rolling on the 28 plate, which is a hair shorter than the 27 plate that it replaced. Birdman at 20. "22 with Dougster. "30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. 28 with Michael Gagola. 29 with Dougster. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. 29 with the Dougster. 30, Birdman. $30 with Birdman as we're ticking away, coming down to the end of this one. 33 with Michael Gagola. 33 with Dougster, but I already had it with Michael, and that got it done. Michael Gagola at 33 at the 130 mark. Dougster got the 33 in at 130, but I already had Michael. Birdman came back at 35. Michael Gagola at 33. Okay, one thing we haven't done yet tonight, especially relating to license plates, is sold a new one. 60 seconds. Here we go. You get whatever is in this envelope. We're on the timer. It is live. 60 seconds. Here we go. You get whatever this is. I don't know what it is. I looked at it like a month ago when I threw it in the box, but I don't know what it is. 35 with Sean starting us off right out of the gate. You're going to get whatever's in this envelope. We'll see if the winner wants to open it up or if they want to be surprised, but we're only going 60 seconds. Sean coming out swinging hard at 35 right out of the gate. 30 seconds gone. We're halfway there. Halfway go to the end. Sean at 35. Birdman at 25. I had Sean right out of the gate at 35. And we're ticking away. We're already coming down to the end. Sean may have just taken the shot right out of the gate and knocked everybody else out. But here we go. We're getting down to the end already since this is only 60 seconds. No, Travis comes in with a 45. Sean at 45. We got a couple seconds left to go. Is anybody else going to squeeze another bid in there? I've got 45 with Travis, 46 with Sean, 47 with Travis. And that does it. Travis at 47. That one got interesting. Okay, Travis, do we open it or not? Open it. Okay, will do. Then I can actually write down what you got instead of new old stock plate. Oh, this is a great color. We'd had one of these a while back, I think. This is a beautiful one. Are we ready? $1963. Whew. That's a good looking plate. Wow. It is. This is a great color combination on these. It's awesome. Congrats, Travis. All right, let me write it up. I didn't write it up before because I didn't know what it was. All right. What do you think, guys? Want to do any more? Couple more? I got some cans here on the desk we could do. Like I said, I still got a ton of stuff in here. Oh man, that's a cool can too. I got some cans. We haven't done any cans tonight. We haven't even done cans tonight. Yes, we can. Okay, we'll do a couple cans, then we'll probably go ahead and wrap for tonight and get into a few more things we want to check out this evening. Let's go. Sean's got money. Okay, how about I've got two of these, and they're both great. So we're going to sell one, and then the winning bidder can choose if they want to take them both or if we're going to sell the other one after that. Okay? So I've got two. We're going to put them both up there as a choice. But they can pick one or both with the high bidder. That's up to them. If they want them both, they can take them both at 2 times the money. So if they're $50, then they're $100 for the pair. Or if they don't want it, we can resell the other one later. So 1 pound grease cans, which are a great size, for Kendall. These things are new old stock. I did have to clean the grease out of them. I'm going to guess probably 60s because they are metal. I don't think there's a year on them. I do not see a year on them. Wheel bearing, Timken approved. They both say that. 15 with Wiley. Both tops have a little bit of paint loss. And this can has a little bit of paint loss around the bottom. 35 with Sean. So, high bidder gets their choice of one or both. If they want both of them for their collection, they can absolutely take them both. I've got Sean at 35. And here we go. But man, these are good looking cans. 36 with Wiley. I mean, these are just knockouts. Ticking away, and here we go. 36 with Wiley. Just past that 30-second mark. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Wiley at 36. Ticking away. It's awful quiet, and we're getting close to a minute 30. We're ticking away. Wiley at 36. $40 with Sean, and that does it. Man, Sean barely snuck that in there, but he got it done at $40. You want one or both? And which one do you want, or do you want both? And we'll save the other one for later. Both. Perfect. I can't see why you wouldn't take them both at that, because they're awesome. All right, guys. That was pretty cool. Like I said, those are awesome, Sean. I would do the exact same thing. So, but anyway, a lot of fun tonight on that stuff, guys. Let's go ahead and keep moving on and catch a few more things. Oh man, the badge tonight is, yeah. So, appreciate everybody playing along with the auctions. Had a lot of fun with that. But let's get back to squeezing some more stuff in for tonight. Like I said, the badge tonight is off the charts. Got another super cool can to look at. Brochure. We need to talk about the raffle. So, anyway, let's keep moving on. Awesome night tonight on auction, guys. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And we got a lot more cool stuff coming up. Raffle. Next week, we're giving away this issue of Tucker Topics. This is original. And they don't come up very often. They do come up occasionally. When I haven't looked lately, but I know there was one on eBay for $250 a while back. So definitely not something you see very often. Very few entries this month. Be a good month to try to get in. Very few entries so far. Of course, there's always some comes in the last week, and we are in the last week at this point because next Sunday is going to be the 29th. So we're gonna draw for this thing next week, and somebody is going to have their very own piece of Tucker memorabilia added to their collection. That is a duplicate. I have one, and now somebody else is going to get to have one in their collection. Tucker stuff, as we talked about extensively on episode number 300, does not come up very often. When it does, it is very desirable, it is very collectible, and it is very expensive. So it's an opportunity for one of you guys to add a super rare piece of Tucker history to your collection. So I think this stuff is super cool. Maybe you guys don't. Maybe it's not as exciting to you. But it is definitely a snapshot in automotive history that, when you look at the entire process, when you step back and look at the scope of the entire thing about how far ahead he was with his ideas, to be squashed by the big three, it's crazy. And like I said, next week that's heading to somebody else's collection. So now someone's sending $100 and gamble on the win. Sounds good to me. But it's a cool piece, and it's not something that you see very often. So excited for next week to add that to someone else's collection. So there again, just make sure you let me know on your payments, whether you're sending it directly for the raffle or if you're adding it to your auction payments. Make sure you let me know how much is for raffle, as well as Pioneer Village. Thinking a lot about Pioneer Village here lately. I need to get up there. I don't know when, but I really need to look at my calendar. I've got, obviously, coming into spring, things are going to get busy. So I've got to pick some time and get up there to work with the Kearney Museum, the American Automobile Experience in Kearney, as well as Pioneer Village, and try to make some things happen up there. So I will get through that. I was thinking about that. I obviously, since I was gone last night, I will get through the Pioneer Village and see where we're tallied up on that. Dad has donated a couple of toys that we're going to sell here on the auctions here in the next week or two for Pioneer Village as well, to generate a little more. And they're pretty cool toys, actually. Yeah, he told me I'm supposed to sell them for Pioneer Village. We'll see if I get to that. So anyway, like I said, next week we're giving that away, and then we will announce the new raffle for the month of April. Holy cow, April's already here. Yeah, that's the way it goes, Duxter. You buy 70% of the tickets and some kid that bought one wins. That happens. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, I do want to get to the badge tonight because the badge is off the charts, and then we'll see where we're going to go from there. So have an extra day for the gathering and take the group up there. We're talking about there's still plans to get the hotel open. And that's one thing. I have talked to the new director about that a little bit. When I get up there, we'll get into a little bit more specifics about it. Hey, there's Steve Reed. But once the hotel is open, there's obviously been a lot of talk. Sounds good, Duxter. Glad you were here. About having a group Nobody's Weekend up there. Because to add an extra day to the gathering and try to squeeze it in would be difficult. There's just too much there. I do know that a few guys are talking about trying to work it into their trip. I know Cream City Pete talked about it. And anybody coming from up north was going to try to swing through there or work their way through there and at least catch a little bit of it on the way to the gathering. But adding a day to the gathering would be tough, especially anybody coming from the south. So, but hopefully we'll get some good news on their hotel. They will open the property back up, hopefully sooner rather than later. And then maybe we can have a group go up there for a couple days. It'd be a great time. So let me move these auction boxes because this badge tonight is off the chains. I don't know if you guys caught the short on the Continental Mark II the other day. So if you guys caught the short on the Mark II, you'll see that it did leave and headed to a new home. However, there were some exceptions to the sale when I sold the car. One, I was keeping the valve covers, which I did. Two, I was keeping the trunk ornament. Check this out, guys. This is crazy. How spectacular is this? This is the trunk ornament, trunk lock assembly out of. There's a lot of hearts going right now, guys, and that's kind of how I feel about this piece. Continental Mark II. 3,000 cars built. You never see them, and I had to keep a piece of it. I had to. Obviously, I like badges, ornaments, and emblems because we've looked at hundreds of them on here. So you guys know I like them. This thing, I was like, and the guy's got a restored car. So he doesn't need it. It would probably be good to have for extra, but he doesn't need it. And that was one of the stipulations of me before I even priced him the car. I said, I'm keeping the trunk badge and I'm keeping the valve covers. Yeah, it's true. It probably wouldn't even fit in the trunk of some of these cars today. But overall size on this thing, yeah, it is wow. Yep, and it had AC. One of the about 800 cars that had AC. It's got a 17.5-inch wingspan, basically. The hearts are still flowing, which is cool. And the circle is about 6 in diameter. And it's about 8 1/4 on these top spears. But this does have a plastic insert, which was colored. You can see there is some fading. These were blue. I don't know if these were supposed to be red or gold or what. But those inserts do have some fading. Now, I'm not selling it. Now, there is a surprise on this piece, though. You guys ready for the surprise? It actually weighs a little bit, too. This is all pot metal. There is a surprise on this piece. I think it's pretty impressive, though. This is actually also the trunk lock. Yep. Turn the little head. Insert your key. Nope, I do not have the key for it. I don't think that car had keys in it. Big job, knew it. But now you guys can see why, if you saw that short, there was a stipulation of I keep the trunk ornament. We got to get the valve covers out here too one of these nights. The valve covers are off the chains as well. So it's a pretty cool piece. It's got a few pits in it and stuff, but I mean, overall, the chrome looks good. The inserts are there. The little trunk lock covers there. Yeah, it's just crazy. So, if you guys were watching the short and wondered why I said I'm keeping the trunk lock cover or the trunk assembly, now you know why. Because it's epic. I do have several Corvairs, Wiley. Probably got 8 or 10 of them. Most of them are early ones. I've got a handful of 65 to 69s, but I would say the bulk of them are 60 to 64. I think I've probably got 3 or 4 69s and 4 or 5 or 6. Yeah, I got at least 5 or 6 early ones, just off the top of my head. So, yep, I do have some. Okay, sounds good, Wiley. That'll work. Let's catch a brochure and an oil can, and then we'll probably be about ready to wrap things up for tonight. So let me grab this stuff real quick. Tonight's can is also a beauty. It is new old stock. It is full. However, it's not in the oil can book, and it doesn't give us a lot of information. I think it was probably a 368. I don't know. I'll find out real quick, though. I'll get my big red book out. My big red book. I use this thing for everything. Continental, 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 Continental. Yep, 368. So, however, this thing actually lists production at much lower. This lists 1325.56 and 444 for 57. It is commonly believed that there were about 3,000 cars made. So, oh, Ron knows all about them. He did one. So, okay. Answers that question. But, yep, it was a 368. This book has a ton of specs in it. I use it for a lot of stuff like that. Production numbers, weights, engine sizes, engine availability, things like that. I've had this book forever. It is literally falling apart. I've had this book, I think it's 50 Years of American Cars, 39 to 89. And I'm not kidding, guys. I got this in like 89 or 90. I've had this book this long. Sounds good, John. So yeah, it is literally falling apart, but I've had it that long and I've used it that much over the years. So anyway, tonight's can, like I said, it is not in the oil can book and there's not a lot of information on it, but it's so pretty, we have to look at it. This is a Skelly motor oil. I'm guessing it is probably 60s era. Not a lot on it except for an interesting guarantee. Red, white, and blue, and it is the corrugated soup can style on this beautiful, brand new Skelly quart, and it is full. Never been punched on the top or the bottom. Not a lot of detail on this can. Obviously, we see our seam there for being a steel can, has a dent on this side. But the only thing on this, I mean, not a lot of specifications except for right over here. Your money back guarantee. It states, use Skelly motor oil. Give it what you think is a fair trial. You are the sole judge. If it does not satisfy you in every aspect, take your purchase receipt to the station where you made the purchase. Your money will be cheerfully refunded. Skelly Oil Company, Manufacturing, Marketing Department, Kansas City, Missouri, 64141 on the money back guarantee. It's a beautiful can. It is a beautiful can. I haven't touched it. I haven't waxed it. I haven't done anything. I mean, a coat of wax on this thing, and it is really going to pop. But it's a beautiful can. The colors, it's got the lines coming in here in the V shape. It's a good looking piece. That's why I thought we definitely wanted to share it with you guys because it's very, very pretty. So like I said, a little bit of polishing, a clean coat of wax, a fresh coat of wax, and this thing would be a knockout. But like I said, it's never been used. It's probably been in a box or on a shelf somewhere for 60 years. But good looking piece. I guess I better see how many everybody loves them. I better see how many I've got. I better do some look and see if I got an extra on that one then, the way it's looking.
How many perfect cans do I have? I don't know. Hey, there's Juan. Juan made her back. Honestly, we have thousands of cans. And perfect cans. I mean, you get into some of this stuff where is it perfect if it's got a tiny chip in the bottom? Technically not. So when you say is it a perfect can, that kind of opens up a whole nother can of worms, because this one, even though it is an absolute knockout can, it's got a dent. Well, you might be able to get a lot of that dent out, but it's got some scuffs over here, things like that. So you get into this situation of what is perfect. This is a great can, but what is a perfect can? It gets into a real gray area. Shell X100, that's right, Hippie. I've got them, but I don't think I've got extras. But like I said, I've got to get, and that's one thing that didn't get done this winter that I typically do is I sort through a lot of stuff, a lot of piles that I have that build up over the year. And I got too busy this year to get it done. It disappeared. Was it not in the box, Mark? Hey, there's Frank. So you get into what's perfect and not perfect, and it's kind of, questionable, because this can technically isn't perfect. It looks great, but it's not perfect. All right, let's catch a brochure yet tonight, because we haven't done that in a couple weeks, and then we'll probably go ahead and wrap up for this evening. I know it's starting to get late. We're 9:30 here. I know it's really getting late for you guys back east. But we haven't done a brochure in a few weeks. Let's squeeze one of those in since we got a few minutes, and then we'll get on with the evening so you guys can get to bed. Get our white gloves back out here. As we dig into another piece from the mega sales literature collection that I got last year from our good friend Carrie. All right. Here we go. Something for our Chevy truck fans. The 1939 Chevy truck brochure. This thing is in crazy condition for being 39. 87 years old, and it looks like this with these colors. I mean, the thing literally looks brand new. You all right there, Balin Wire? Wiley's getting a little worked up. The hearts are just, whoa, the hearts are going bananas. The hearts are going bonkers. Yeah. Let's open it up. The Continental Mark, I did not have a brochure on the Continental Mark II. The Canopy Express. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Condition is just crazy on this thing.
The stake trucks. Yes, the big trucks. This came in the big literature collection I bought last year, Birdman. Insane stuff. Absolutely insane stuff in this collection. Big trucks, cab overs. Yeah, if you missed that while, and we've been doing a lot of these, but this collection was insane. That I had the opportunity to buy. There is crazy stuff in there. There is brochures that you never would have even imagined existed in today's world that we have seen. Birdman, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm talking, we got supercharged Graham brochures, Packard brochures from the 30s, Buick Limited brochures, dealer salesman albums, just crazy. Insane's not the best. Is not the best description. This stuff is. You guys that were on the night I opened it up, is it not an insane collection? I know there's still a few guys that are on here. The night that I literally backed the pickup into the shop, and we just randomly started grabbing brochures. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy the stuff that was it. It was all one collection that I bought from one guy. He'd been collecting this stuff for over 50 years. Yep. Yeah. Sean and Christine have seen it. Yeah, you guys have seen it. Kevin's seen it. Pete's seen it. A lot of you guys have seen it. In fact, I guess I did get it right before or did I get it right after the gathering last year? I got it. I don't remember if I got it right before or right after the gathering last year. It's the Chuck Norris of collections. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that I don't think would argue with that, Bill. Sad that Chuck Norris did pass, but that's still crazy. So anyway, here's something interesting. Some of you guys probably didn't know this. Ever heard of a coupe pickup? Yes, they made a coupe pickup, and it was available. Sounds good, Big Job. Appreciate that. I don't know if it's Smithsonian quality, Mark, but it's pretty darn good. The deluxe cab. Chevrolet's all steel cab. It features a driver's seat, a single full width cushion underneath the durable rubberized fabric upholstery is a latex bound hair pad on resilient springs. The doors all steel, hung on extra heavy hinges. Now, it's crazy in today's world to think about this. Doors all steel, hung on extra heavy hinges. Inner steel panel has a pleasing finish. New hold open door checks. Now you got to remember, in 1939, all steel doors were only a few years old. In 35, Chevy doors were still wooden frame. Halfway through 36, the early 36, also known as the 36 high cab, wooden framed doors. So you've got to remember, this brochure is coming out at the end of 38. They're writing this brochure in 38. They had only had full steel doors for 2 years. So full steel doors was a big selling point at that point.
5 basic reasons Chevrolet's valve in head truck engine leads in truck operation. Now, there again, this is how crazy technical some of this stuff got. Engine features overhead pipe oil is led to the valve operating mechanism by a copper tube passing through the engine water jacket. Direct pressure, as well as this was still a 216, it was still partially a splash engine as well. All kinds of crazy stuff in the engine specifics that would never be included in a brochure today. And the chassis features, transmissions, full floating rear axle. And another thing that was a pretty big deal, as crazy as this sounds. Yeah, and I knew it was going to that. There really isn't a lot of brochures left anymore out there. I didn't know they were completely gone. I've still seen some of them out there, but that doesn't surprise me that there are no brochures anymore. But another thing that was big for 39, perfected hydraulic brakes. Double articulated brake shoes give full lining contact against the brake drum, heavy-duty hose connections, and copper-plated metal tubing, fully protected by frame members. There again, hydraulic brakes, although they had been around for several years, were just becoming mainstay in the industry. In fact, Ford didn't have all-juice brakes until 40. I'm a time traveler, and I have all these stories to cover it. Well, Wiley, I don't think anybody has ever said that before. I ain't going to lie. I think that is a new comment on all of this stuff. But, that's crazy. But, so juice brakes, pretty big deal. Ford didn't even have that. They had them, but not in, we're still standard mechanical brakes in 39. And so hydraulic brakes, there again, a pretty big selling point in 39. And then, of course, something you would never see on a lot of this stuff in today's world, the specifications on the back, consisting of wheelbase, back of cab to center line of rear axle, center line of rear axle to frame. Now, kind of where that comes into play, Quantum Leap to shame. Who remembers Quantum Leap? I do. I remember watching it as a kid. I do remember Quantum Leap. Some of these specifications are stuff you don't even think about anymore. Back of cab to center line of rear axle. Now, why was that dimension from the back of the cab to the rear axle important? That's why they started making COEs, because that was more bed space. That specification was on here based on the different styles of trucks they made. Back of cab to the end of the frame, turning radius, transmission, prop shaft, U-joint, steering, frame, front springs, rear springs. All of these specifications very clearly laid out on the back for a potential customer to analyze and study. I don't remember the time tunnel, hippie. That's right. And then the different add-ons, the wrecker beds, the dump beds, all that stuff. That's right, Big Job. But, your typical sales brochure doesn't have a lot of this on it. You guys running Pete's, it's probably there, but Most of the stuff on a pickup doesn't have it. But there we have it. The 1939 Chevrolet truck sales brochure in absolutely knockout condition. No, I don't see anything about that at all, Birdman. Nothing about any crash data whatsoever. Yep. Considering I was born in 74, hippie, that pretty much puts me out of that one. Unless I catch it on one of my time traveling missions in the near future. I'll keep that in mind if I do decide to go back to 1966 anytime in the near future and check out time tunnel. So anyway, guys, yeah, it is a pretty cool piece. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, if you guys didn't see when we did the night we brought this collection home, it was a lot of fun. Kerry was actually on with us, and we had a blast with him. He wasn't here live, but he was on commenting with us. This was his work, his collection. He did this. This is nothing but 200% credit to Kerry. We're adding a few pieces here and there to the collection and continuing to grow it. However, this was his life's collection, and I am, and both Addie and I are we're honored to be chosen to carry it on. I mean, that's really the only way that I can say it. And we have added some pieces to it. We did get some stuff at Meekum, Kansas City. So Addie and I are constantly looking for quality pieces that we do add to it and continue to grow it. But it's knockout stuff. I mean, there's an original Cobra brochure in here. I mean, that type of stuff. That's how crazy this collection is. So yeah, literally everything from a supercharged 39 gram brochure to an AC Cobra sales brochure, and a little bit of everything in between, and a few outside the area of that as well. Anyway, guys, I think we'll go ahead and call it a night. I appreciate you guys stopping by and being part of whatever these shenanigans are that we put together every Sunday. And we had a great time tonight. At least I did. We had a woman engineer tell us that she couldn't make a truck with the wheelbase we wanted. We told her we're looking at the same truck. We just put it together and gave you all the dimensions. And I know that happens a lot. That's for sure. The Jetsons knew about Uber self-driving cars a long time ago. That's true. So I need to watch. There was something else I missed that you threw up there as well, Hippie, about some other show that I didn't miss. Bring back a couple of C10s, okay? You missed those at the Lambrecht auction. They're 12, 14 years ago, Wiley. They had about 10 new ones there. They weren't new condition anymore, but they were new trucks. Speaking of which, we talked about you guys remember talking about the Lambrecht? We're going to go off on another tangent here. We talked about the Lambrecht auction a few weeks ago, where they sold all those new Chevrolets. When was that? 2013, something like that. 2012, 2013. No, I took the gray truck, and I didn't buy that till May of 2013 because it was a leftover 12. So it was 13 or 14. Sounds good, Birdman. That'll work. You bet, Dean. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That doesn't sound like it. Big job. Sounds good. Glad you're here tonight, Juan. But that Lambrecht auction, we did go. I bought 2 cars there, just parts cars. But I actually, a couple weeks ago, I bought another car that came from there. It was bought at that auction and then ended up down in my area. I bought that. And one of these pieces that I bought last week, or actually yesterday, one of these pieces that I bought yesterday came from that dealership. I didn't know it when I bought it, but another guy introduced me to the guy that was selling this collection yesterday, and he had bought it at that auction. So there's a lot of history. So it's kind of weird that Lambrecht auction came up a few weeks back, and we talked about it. And I ended up just getting another car that came out of there, and then find out that this pretty big display piece that I bought yesterday came from that dealership as well. So, and actually the guy that had the auction, he did a clip with us for the video talking about when he bought it there and things like that. So some fun stuff there coming up as well. With that, guys, let's go ahead and call it. We're starting to push 10 o'clock at this point. I know you guys need to get wound down and get some sleep. Thanks, big job there again. The Johnny Carson comments still floor me. I do try to do a good job for you guys. That's why I work this stuff up every week. I just wasn't here last night to get a full episode put together. But it still floors me that you guys even remotely mention the name Johnny Carson on here with what we're doing. And I do appreciate it. So anyway, have a great week, everybody. We'll see what happens Tuesday. I don't really know what to think at this point. But be thinking about what you guys want out of it. Sounds good, Bill? And we'll get some more cool content coming up. Oh, oil can book coming up Wednesday night with the author, Tom Allen. So, like I said, please excuse the noise. We did it at the Wichita Swap Meet. There is background noise, but oil can book video coming up next Wednesday night. Everything I have is spoken for. We will have to get another batch if we had more people that need them. We will get those Lincoln valve covers out in the very near future as well. So have a great week, everybody. Stay tuned for that new content coming up, and we will see you next Sunday night for some more Gearhead Interactive live chat. Thanks for watching, and have a great week, everybody.